Hey guys, Frightener22 here, and welcome to my June 9th DVD and Blu-ray update. As you notice, the environment behind me is a little different than what you're used to, and the reason being for that is that me and my fiance, we just got whole new furniture, new 3D TV, everything, so the massive collection that you guys are accustomed to seeing, or at least a little bit of in the background of most of my videos, have migrated into the room that I'm in right now, temporarily, until we kind of set up our new office and media room, which is where all my goodies will be held. So we're hopefully going to do that later on in the summer, so for the time being, this is kind of the backdrop that you guys are going to be seeing, at least for the next 2.5 months, give or take, but the best part about this whole thing, with, just the collection being migrated here and everything kind of being scattered in different compartments and the closet next to me, I'm gonna kind of, crack the whip with myself and really get on these DVD updates at least every week, because every week, as you guys know, through Twitter and whatnot, I get a lot of stuff in every week. It hasn't slowed down at all. You would think it would have, since I'm saving for a wedding simultaneously, but it hasn't. It's gotten worse. So I'm getting as much in as I ever have before, so it's going to be really hard to kind of store stuff for 2.5 weeks without it getting, lost or confused, or just put in a place that I wouldn't normally keep it. So that's why I'm going to just try and do a DVD update once a week now. So you guys kind of make out like bandits, because it's, it's more videos, and, there isn't much of a long delay in between videos, which is great. So, that being said, this is going to be the first. This is actually going to be the last, probably big DVD update, but and then hopefully next week I'll start by doing one DVD update a week, and next week already has a ton of shit, so it's gonna feel like I haven't seen you guys in like 2-3 weeks, when really it's only been 1 week. Next week's insane, so you can definitely count on another DVD update next week. But before I get into the haul today, I just want to make a quick note that the only one that I'm not going to be showcasing, because I just couldn't find it. I was ripping my hair out trying to find it, and I'm sure it's buried behind many, many other rows of movies. I got Vegas Vacation on Blu-ray, and I did show it on my Twitter feed the day I got it in, but I just can't find it to showcase it in this update. So if you guys were curious, yes, I do have Vegas Vacation. I just don't have it on hand to show you. So that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the rest of this June 9th DVD and Blu-ray update. The first two up are actually from Code Red DVD, one of my favorite independent distributors, and the first one is the violent theatrical cut of The Police Connection. The Police Connection is a film that was directed by Burt I. Gordon, of course, Mr. Big, and I'd be hard-pressed to say, but this is hands down his crowning achievement in filmmaking. I mean, this film is just so fucking radical. It's crazy violent. It's just a well-told story. It's a detective story. It's just, 3 different perspectives and 3, different personalities are kind of culminating in this to kind of reveal who is this violent mad bomber that's going all over LA, just lighting off bombs and killing people that he feels are responsible in some way for his daughter's death. It's a terrific movie, and Bill Olsen of Code Red DVD did a phenomenal job with the transfer. This film just looks terrific on this DVD. I can't recommend The Police Connection anymore to you guys. It's awesome. It's quickly become one of my favorite Code Red releases to date, so I really can't, sell it to you guys any better than that, so I would really urge everybody to get onto Code Red's Big Cartel storefront and pick this up immediately. It's a ton of fun. The other Code Red title that I picked up, I haven't gotten around to watching yet, but it seems really cool. My buddy watched it, and he said it's a hoot, and this is Teen Lust, The Girl Next Door. This is actually a film that was directed by James Hong, really great character actor that's been in a ton of stuff like Wayne's World 2 and The Vineyard, among many, many other things. So he directed this film. And in this, you have an audio commentary by him. You actually get the director's cut version of this, which is from the original negatives, as well as the longer theatrical version, and there's 2 trailers, actually, found on this. So this is a pretty beefed-out DVD, considering the type of film that it is, but like I said, I can't talk about it from, a head-on perspective, but my friends have been telling me that it's really good, so, it's Code Red, always happy to support them, and it seems like something right up my alley. Next two I got are from Disney, and this is part of the Studio Ghibli batch, and the first one that they just put out believe it was a week or two ago, is My Neighbor Totoro. This is one of the Ghibli titles that I actually haven't sat down and watched yet, but I've heard nothing but good things throughout the years. This one, of course, has the English dub talent of Tim Daly, Dakota Fanning, Elle Fanning, and Leah Salonga. But yeah, I've heard that it's great stuff. You know, the first Ghibli title that I actually ever saw was The Secret World of Arrietty, and I just fell totally in love with it, so I've collected every Studio Ghibli release that Disney has put out since then. I have them all, and this has been the latest one, in addition to Howl's Moving Castle. I believe this is from, like, 2004. I've heard that it's not quite as good as other stuff like My Neighbor Totoro or, you know, Ponyo or something like that, but I've heard that it's decent, just nothing nowhere near as good as the earlier stuff, but I'm still really excited to check this one out. There's some pretty cool features on this, which I am looking forward to checking out. There's a behind-the-microphone feature. There's actually an interview with Pixar Animation Studios director Pete Docter, who's been responsible for Monsters, Inc. and Up. You get Hello, Mr. Lasseter. Miyazaki visits the Pixar Animation Studios, which should be a pretty cool, fun featurette to see, you know, two, you know, incredibly talented animation forces together in one environment. So, should be really cool. I'm really looking forward to checking this one out, you know, amongst, you know, all the subpar reviews I've read about it, but it should be a good time. Next two I got are from another one of my favorite distributors out on it, and it is the Shout Factory's horror subdivision, Scream Factory. And the first one, of course, is the collector's edition of The Burning. Terrific 80s camp slasher in the vein of Friday the 13th. Just check out that great art by Nathan Thomas Milner. Nathan just really knocked this one out of the park. It's great stuff. And as always, you get the choice on the actual Blu-ray case of the alternate cover art. That is the original one-sheet poster, which I actually own and have Lou David, Cropsy's autograph on mine. But yeah, this is another beefed out collector's edition. You have an audio commentary by the director and international journalist Alan Jones, a Blood and Fire Memories featurette, the theatrical trailer, and many, many more things. So, as you can see, this is a really cool edition. You know, these collector's editions are always one of the best parts of the Scream Factory line, just that great custom artwork, and then of course the great option of having the one-sheet poster underneath. So if you haven't seen The Burning and you're a slasher fan, it's absolutely essential viewing, so definitely get on Amazon or wherever and pick this up immediately. Next one that came out from them is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of another horror slasher film from the late 70s that has never seen a DVD or Blu-ray release, and now, thanks to Scream Factory, it's finally here. And this is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is a pretty cool film. It's kind of in the vein of, you know, just a lot of... It kind of comes off like a television movie, but not poorly made or anything. It's actually a really well-done movie, and it's inspired by true events that I believe took place in Arkansas. I enjoy this movie. I mean, I've kind of grown watching it with, you know, from really crappy, bad bootlegs, but thankfully Scream Factory has come to the rescue by putting this out, and you also get some cool special features on this, like an audio commentary by historian Jim Presley, an interview with some of the actors, a theatrical trailer, and an essay by writer Brian Albright, as well as poster and still gallery. But the coolest thing about this is that you get an entire movie as a bonus feature, and it's Charles B. Pierce who directed this film. One of his other films, The Evictors, as you can see on the back, you can see that they showcase the poster artwork of it. But that film is only found on the DVD in this set, but still, it's really cool to see that, because that's another film that has just completely avoided a legitimate release, so it's cool to kind of get more bang for your buck in this collection. So definitely another great Scream Factory release to pick up. Next one I got is from Shout Factory, a really, really cool film for cult enthusiasts, and this is the collector's edition of Captain America. Not the Chris Evans one, this is the 1990 Albert Pine film. This film is just ridiculously bad, but fun bad. I mean, really, really fun bad. The Blu-ray looks phenomenal, actually, you know, considering, you know, the type of film that, you know, at least the kind of budget that this film was brought on. It looks really terrific, you know, audio levels are great, picture saturation, everything looks really solid in this, and you also get some really cool special features, like a looking back at Captain America with the director and star Matt Salinger. Another great, you know, cult release that Shout really saved from, you know, DVD-R dormitory. So it's cool to kind of have it in, you know, a Blu-ray release. One of the funny things that I did find out that I noticed about this upon further inspection, is that on the spine there was a bit of a little flub, and they added an extra E in Collector's Edition, so it happens, but I just thought it was kind of funny to note. Everything's fine on the cover, but on the spine there is an extra E in Collector's Edition, so nothing to really freak out about, but I did kind of find that funny because I just noticed it as I was taking off the shelf. I was like, that's misspelled, but nonetheless, a fun film, definitely good for a great laugh, and of course the picture and sound quality look and sound great, so definitely a good one to scoop up. The next one I got is a really cool box set that I almost passed up on because I didn't think I was going to be able to swing it, but I knew I just had to pick this up immediately. And this is the Ultimate Gangsters collection, the classic set. I know that they just released another one, I believe, on the same day, which is more of a contemporary set with things like Goodfellas and The Departed in it. But this is the one that I really wanted, because it has, like it says, a lot of classic gangster films, including Little Caesar, The Public Enemy, The Petrified Forest, and White Heat. This is a killer edition, and just to showcase it a little bit better, you get the back, some descriptions on the back. Once you pull it out, you have the actual Blu-ray casing, which is pretty big because it holds all the discs in this, and once you, through further inspection, you can see that they're all pretty much the same cover art, and, you know, just each of the movies are labeled with whichever, you know, disc they belong to. And then the last disc over here is a DVD, actually, with, I believe, some special features, documentaries of some sort. And then also in the box you get a hardcover book with some cool you know, some cool write-ups on the film, some great artwork, if you guys can see that. Yeah, it looks really cool. It's a solid set. I scooped it up the day it came out for like $40, which is more than worth it. So if you guys are into, you know, film noirs or gangster films, this is definitely a collection, Blu-ray collection that cannot be missed this year, so absolutely scoop this up if you get the time. Next one I got is from Scorpion releasing a really weird release from them, but I'm excited to have it, and this is Wombling Free. The thing, it's like a children's film, but a really warped children's film from England, and a review on the back has me very intrigued. This is from Time Out London. There's a certain joy in watching the shaggy creatures in a pastiche of the Hollywood musical. Wombles definitely rule Muppets. I find that really interesting because I am a gigantic Muppets fan, so that quote alone has me intrigued to check this out, because for anyone to deem this better than the Muppets when it comes to, you know, children's films or puppeteering, I'm curious to see what somebody like that finds in it. So, you know, I love puppetry and I love films like this, so I'm really excited that Scorpion Releasing took a chance by releasing this one, so I'm souped to check it out. We'll see how this one plays, but I have a funny feeling that it might not measure up exactly to the Muppets, but we'll see. Next three I got are from Code Red Releasing again, and I haven't watched any of these DVDs, but one of the films I actually did see in a rare 35mm showing a few years back. But the first one I got is The Class of 1974, along with its co-feature, Gabriella. It's the same film. Gabriella was, I believe, an earlier version of it. I think maybe a little bit more adult version of it. But then they re-released it with some additional scenes put in, and then they retitled it Class of 1974. But as always, it's really cool that Bill included, you know, the original version / cut of this film. So this is cool. You know, I've seen the trailer attached to a bunch of other Code Red releases. It looks really fun, right up my alley. So another, you know, title that can be found on Code Red's Big Cartel website. Now, the next one that I'm going to show is that one that I saw during that rare 35mm showing, and this is a really fun one, incredibly cheesy, and this is The Face with Two Left Feet. It's a really hysterical Italian Saturday Night Fever ripoff with this guy who is a dead lock as John Travolta's double. I mean, it's uncanny. This dude absolutely looks like Travolta during Saturday Night Fever. It's amazing. I mean, it's just the funniest thing in the world. It starts off incredibly funny, but, you know, as it kind of goes in, the joke kind of wears itself out, but it still is a really good, fun cult film to have on your shelf. I mean, if it wasn't for Bill and Code Red, I don't know if this film would have ever seen a release forever, so it's really cool that it was saved and it's presented here because it looks really great on the DVD. Yeah, it's just an absurd film that everybody needs to see. And the next one I got from Code Red is a film called Dandy. I don't know much about it, but it seems pretty salacious, as you can see from the X rating down there, and the quote on the front, "the love animal that turns you on." You know, just a subgenre that Code Red dabbles in from time to time. More than happy to support them, so I'm excited to see how this one is. I don't know if it's going to be exactly my cup of tea, but, you know, I got to support Code Red in each and every release that they put out because they do some solid work. Next one I got from Shout Factory is one that I've been dying to see for the longest time, and they are presenting it here on a Blu-ray edition, and this is William Devane and Tommy Lee Jones in Rolling Thunder. This was one of those films that I was hoping to get to this weekend. I didn't. I'm hoping to do it this week now. This is just a really cool revenge film from the 70s, and it comes packed with some cool special features, including interviews with William Devane, as well as Tommy Lee Jones, which is really cool that they were able to get an interview now with him, considering how big he is. And you also get writers Paul Schrader, who's responsible for Taxi Driver, as well as, you know, Cat People, American Gigolo, a ton of other things, and Haywood Gould. You also get the original theatrical trailer and TV spot, so a really awesome cult film that every cult enthusiast has to add into their Blu-ray collection. Next one I got is a really exciting one. I'm so happy that this film, or television show actually, finally got finished on DVD after so many years, and this is Volume 4 of Tiny Toon Adventures. So in love with this show. I grew up loving this show. I think it was so brilliantly made. I mean, the jokes were so funny and witty. Everything was great about this show. It just took so many years to finish on DVD, but thankfully they wrapped it up, and here it is finally in all of its 2-disc glory. Once you take it out, it's basically the same image. Everything's all the same, just to give you a shot of the inside for those that were curious. 2-disc set. I believe, I'm not even sure how many episodes are on this. Looks like 16 episodes, so 8 episodes a disc, which is awesome. But like I said, for as many years as everybody was waiting for this show to be completed, it's just so great that it's finally here, along with Animaniacs, which they just recently finished too. So it's, you know, a great day for you know, the Steven Spielberg animated productions from the 90s to finally be finished. So awesome television show, and definitely worth a pickup. Next one I got is another one that I've been cutting into this week, and I'm loving every minute of it. It's still as good as I remembered it as a kid, and this is another great pickup that Shout Factory was able to release, and this is the complete series of Beetlejuice. Awesome set. I mean, just like, what a great pickup for any company to put out, especially Shout Factory. If you guys remember this show, it was about 1990 it came out, and it's great. I mean, it still lives up today. It's a terrific show, just really hysterical. In this complete series, you obviously get all 4 seasons across 12 discs. In there, you can see that. It's seasons 1, 2, and 3 are on the first disc, and then season 4 is broken into parts. This is part 1 and part 2. Season 4 was a really long season for some reason, but yeah, this show is just terrific. It's great if you're a fan of the Tim Burton film, if you were a big fan of just this cartoon series growing up. I mean, there's no good reason for you to hesitate picking this up. It's an awesome cult animated show to have on your shelf. I love the fact that Shout Factory picked this up. Terrific. Next one I picked up is another Blu-ray release that Shout Factory just picked up, and I checked it out last night, and I really dug this film. I thought it was terrific. It was the first time I ever saw it, and this is Robert Blake in Electra Glide in Blue. Yeah, that Robert Blake, but we're not going to get into that. This is just really good stuff. It's about a highway patrol cop who's trying to ascend to be more than just a highway patrol cop. He wants to be a detective and, you know, wear the nice hat and the nice clothes and smoke the cigar and get paid to think, as he puts it in the film. But he kind of gets wrapped up being a little, you know, too goody two-shoes, and once he finally gets a chance at moving up the ladder, he's kind of exposed to the corruption that's going on and stuff like that. It's a really well-told movie. It's really well done. All the actors are great, and it's never boring. It's just a really good film that keeps you totally drawn in and interested the entire time. The Blu-ray release is terrific. I mean, this film, I believe, is from 1973, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks, sounds great, you know, colors are great, blacks look good, everything looks terrific in this, so I was really blown away with the Blu-ray presentation. You get a few special features on here, including an audio commentary with the director, as well as an introduction by him, and a theatrical trailer. So, right up there with Rolling Thunder, this is definitely another cool 70s era cult film that you should definitely pick up, because, you know, the presentation that Shout Factory has on this, as well as the special features, and the film's content alone is worth the pickup, so definitely check this one out. And the final, actually the second to last thing that I picked up is a cool tin set, and this is Mel Gibson in the Mad Max trilogy. You know, the funny thing about this is I saw Mad Max many years ago, but I didn't remember it at all. So once this trilogy got announced, I had to pick it up, because this is actually the first time that Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was released, the third Mad Max film. So I actually just rewatched Mad Max today for the first time in years, and it was okay. You know, it was pretty good. I feel like it's one of those things that's still sinking into me now, but I enjoyed it. I think that what they accomplished, you know, it set Australian filmmaking on the map. Everybody's really good in this. I mean, Mel Gibson is ridiculously young. He's like 21 in this. George Miller directed the shit out of this. You know, considering the budget that they were on and the team that he got to work with him, they accomplished a ton of shit. I mean, the car chases in this are ridiculous. I mean, the performances are really, really top-notch, and the violence, you know, it's pretty intense, what goes on, you know, things that seem pretty taboo then, even now, putting, you know, women, and especially, you know, kids, toddlers in danger, very taboo, you know, very, against the grain and stuff, but it's really good, really well done. I'm really excited to you know, cut into the Road Warrior and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, because all I've heard is that those films are probably, you know, just as good, if not better. So, and I think that's really been the general thing, is that a lot more people grew up loving the Road Warrior and Thunderdome. So I'm excited to kind of continue my journey into the Mad Max trilogy, especially since George Miller just wrapped up Mad Max Fury Road with Tom Hardy. So I'm going to be really looking forward to that film once I wrap up this trilogy. But this is a cool tin set. I'm going to showcase it a little bit for you guys. Inside, you know, this is the back side of the tin. And then inside is just a pretty standard Blu-ray case that has all 3 discs, pretty plain disc art in there, nothing special, but, you know, it's packaged really nicely. You don't get too many cool tin sets in America. It seems more of like a foreign thing, but yeah, this is actually a really well done. This is the back of the tin with just the lonely long road there, but yeah, this is definitely a really cool one, you know, that America actually got for a change. So, yeah, I thought this was well done. I can only speak for Mad Max. I thought the film looked pretty good. I believe that it's, you know, the special features that they had on the previous Blu-ray release were just ported over. Pretty cool stuff, featurette. I think there's some trailers on there as well. But, yeah, this is a very cool, you know, set if you dig the Mad Max films and you've just been dying to get Thunderdome, which, if you have them, the first 2, Thunderdome is released separately, but, you know, if you're like me and you never owned any of these, this is, you know, hands down the way to go. And the last one I picked up, there was a nice sale price on this one, so I finally figured I would pick them up. I had the first one, but I figured, you know, for the price, I'll double dip on the first one just to get the second and third one. And I thought this is a great trilogy to kind of, you know, bring in the summer season, because these are just great summer high adrenaline popcorn film. So for 15 bucks, I picked up the Mummy trilogy. So this has the Mummy Returns, and the Mummy, what is it? Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. That's the one with Jet Li as the villain. But yeah, I enjoyed all these films. Very much. The first 2 are obviously the best. The third one kind of suffers a little bit, but I still think it's actually a lot more fun than people give it credit for. There's just a lot of over-the-top crazy things, and there are a lot of cool eye candy in that one. But yeah, I think all 3 films are really fun, and like I said, they're just like the best thing to watch during, you know, the summer season. So really happy there was a nice price drop in this for me to, you know, kind of wrap up the trilogy for myself. So definitely check these ones out if you haven't seen them already, which would be criminal. Well, that wraps up my June 9th DVD and Blu-ray update, and like I said, you know, considering the situation I'm in, definitely stay tuned to seeing, you know, many, many more DVD updates on a much more frequent basis. sure next week, by next weekend, I hope to have another one up, so that I don't overwhelm myself, and I don't have, like, random piles of movies all over and getting confused of what I have shown you guys, what I, you know, the list goes on of what problems could arise if I don't kind of stay on the ball with this. So definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. I'll leave the link to that in the info box below. So as always, guys, I appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you still like what I'm doing, and I will hopefully catch you guys next week with another DVD and Blu-ray update. This has been Frightener22. See ya.